Hello. Hello and welcome to Deep Space Fine. There was some weird discussion going on a minute ago, so sorry. It wasn't weird at all. It's fine. Welcome. We're back from having a couple weeks off for traveling. Everyone had fun stuff going on. But now we're back to be scary with our friend TK. So let's go around and just introduce ourselves and who we're playing, and we can start with Blue Jay because she's first.
I'm first because I'm
You're
the
first.
best. I love you. Don't get mad at me. I'm Blue Jay, and most days you can find me at twitch.tv/BlueJay, or you can find me on Twitter at BlueJay_712. I will be playing Lidra Odan. She is a Trill with the symbiont Odan. You might recognize them from some episodes of Star Trek Next Gen where they fell in love with Beverly Crusher, my one true love. I'm kidding. I have many true loves. It's great. But yeah, I am a, science officer, lieutenant, probably lieutenant commander. Yeah, that's me.
Yay. And Lisa.
Sorry, I had myself muted. I'm Lisa Chan. I am playing Tula Talur, who is an elderly Betazoid woman with a mysterious past, less mysterious now. But I'm also the morale officer as of the last episode. So I have a very important job on this ship to keep everyone happy.
I forgot about that. We gave you Neelix's job.
It's a very important real job.
She doesn't have
a real job. It's true.
Nobody knows who Neelix is.
And that's probably for the best. Hadil.
It's me. Hadil. You can find me at TTYSCH. I have a broken toe. I'm still at work. My life is a mess. Someone please help me.
and who are you playing?
I play Tamal, a Vulcan medical officer, who also needs help. We all need help. Yes.
And we have a special guest. TK joins the fray. You don't have to describe your character yet. We'll bring them in naturally. But if you want to talk about yourself for a little bit and where you come from and what you do.
I had to unmute myself because apparently I'm too incompetent to understand where the mute button on my headphones are, and it's happened at least 4 times today, so that's where I am right now. I'm TK. I write spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can find them. I'll tell you where later. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the night goes. I'm playing a hero. I'm playing a space hero, and that's it. That's all.
That's all that matters. Here to save the day. And I'm Kayla, and I am DMing, and I can be found on the internet at KAYNCLI, and I draw a lot of art, and I'll talk more about that at the end, I'm sure. So real quick, we'll go through our sponsors for the evening. As usual, we start with Fantasy Grounds, which you can see on the screen. That's what we will be rolling with. It's our virtual tabletop of choice. And you can get it for free at fantasygrounds.com. And I'm actually using a free skin for it too. So there's skins, so you can customize it, and it's great and fun. It's a good time. And you can also get all your miniatures from Whaling Games, which is whalinggames.co.uk. And they have D&D, Warhammer, 40K, and you can get them for 20% off, which is pretty rad. And then Tabletop Loot, which provide just amazing, great, wonderful dice, and you can win a set tonight. I believe it's at the end of every game on the channel, which is awesome. So you could go to tabletoploot.com to see what they have available. And if you forget any of this or you want to check in on it, if you do !sponsor, that should bring up all the links and info. So, oh yes, and Modifius, who gave us the good books that we need to play the game. This is a hefty, chonky book, by the way. Like very good quality. If you love Star Trek, yeah, it's a little chonker. And if you love Star Trek, it's really great. There's a lot in here and a lot to learn. There's things we won't even touch on in this game, like ship piloting, or maybe we will actually. Who knows? So yeah. And to recap where we were, since it's been a little bit, I don't know how far back I should go. We started off on Deep Space Nine, where everyone was just kind of happy and having a good time and maybe almost making out with the people they want to make out with. But then...
It was great.
Yeah, it was great. We were having fun. We were having flashbacks and everything. But then an evil fungus came and the... participants, the people affected by it got sent off of the station. Unwilling participants got sent off the station on a cargo convoy into the Gamma Quadrant, and then Cisco feigned their deaths to give them time to hopefully find a cure. But the issue now is they were sent there with a couple bodies that had been infected, and one has mutated and broken free and entered the Jeffries tubes. And at the same time that this happened last time, a message came through from Deep Space Nine telling them that Section 31 was coming, and we ended with them being forcibly boarded by a mysterious ship. And currently everyone... No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm okay with that.
Oh. Well, not yet. You haven't seen them yet, technically.
Tula can sense it.
Just like, I sense the hotness approaching. So you're all in the cargo area, which is, there's a little hall off of it that is the boarding area. So you're being boarded right now. The ship's shaking from this happening forcibly. And you just saw the mutated alien parent enter the Jeffries tubes. So you're kind of in this whole situation. TK, Agent Thorne is currently boarding, and there's a conflict that's about to happen, and how do you handle it?
Okay, what is oh, sorry.
No, go.
What does the boarding look like? Because I don't know how this cargo ship and everything, how the parts are fitting together. That's what I'm asking.
My suggestion is that there's probably, in most like ships that I've seen dock, it's on the back of the ship, like near the cargo bay. There's an airlock door. Yep. Which like I don't know if they ever explained it in Star Trek, but it just kind of always happened, right? It was always just fine. Either a ship flew into another ship's like shuttle bay, in which case there was that like force field that kept everything safe and the air from coming out, or they just didn't explain it at all. Ships just dock and it's fine.
I was about to say, it's like there's definitely an airlock. So let's say your ship had one type of thing and the other ship had the other type of thing, and they touched.
When a mama ship and a daddy ship love each other very much.
Don't worry, girl. I won't make you buy the force field.
Oh no!
No, I was just making sure that I didn't like bust into the side and like.
No, you didn't like destroy it. You definitely like bumped up against it a little forcibly and shook the ship.
Okay,
but you're good.
Assertive entry, not aggressive entry. That's what's important.
Right. Yes.
So Agent Thorne will come out of the ship and sort of survey the area. And when Agent Thorne walks with like almost a little bit of a slagger. There's a hip dip, and not just because there's a phaser rifle slung across the back or anything that's like throwing the weight off. And the eyes are on the prize, looking at entries, looking at doors, looking for civilians.
Go on. Forever.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's very much a superhero walk. Like,
if you're coming into the cargo bay, that's where we just were, right?
Yes, that's where you are. So I don't know. You hear this person enter. Do you hide? Do you immediately want to talk to them? The only thing you know is that they're from Section 31, which I don't know if any of you would really know what that is.
But they didn't comms or anything. They didn't hail us before they docked, so we don't even know who. who it is, really. We just got
Yeah.
a warning that someone was coming.
Right.
So I think that when we feel the ship shake, I just assume it's something to do with Perrin, who just escaped into the Jeffries tubes. And so I definitely... Oh, where did my camera go? Can you guys still...
You're
We
frozen.
can hear you, but your
Yeah, okay.
video is frozen.
Great, good. I'll refresh in a minute. But I think... Who else was in? Were you in the cargo bay?
So it's the cargo bay, but is it also like we'd like set up a medical?
Yes.
Area?
There's like a
That's
little
where we were?
section. Yep.
If I remember correctly, when we'd left it, there were medical officers, and when we'd just arrived before the monster went into the Jeffries tubes, there were a bunch of bodies scattered around.
Yes.
Chula would like to search all of the bodies, specifically the medical officers, so that I can have a comm badge.
you definitely find 2 comm badges.
I take them both, and I stick them both on me.
You're just looting the body? Oh my god.
For comm badges.
I probably like recognize where the noise is coming from when I hear like the airlock decompressing or whatever, and overcomes to the other, who probably Tamal is the other like senior officer.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of established a hierarchy in lieu of there being really anyone else.
Where's the morale
you three are the most you're up there. You're important.
Cool. Knew it.
So I turn to Tamal and I'm like, seems like we're being boarded. I don't know what to do. I assume that because they didn't hail, it's probably not friendly.
Do I sense any?
Tamal will.
Oh yeah. No. What does Tamal do?
No, go ahead. Tamal will just like take her phaser out. I have one, right? Like I get a sidearm, I think. Okay.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you had one from the start. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will go in the direction of where we were being boarded. I don't know.
The airlock. The
Space
space hole.
The space hole.
Space hole.
I would like to approach the space hole.
Okay.
I'm really resisting making a space D joke.
Spacey.
what
Are you
there-
though? If you bring it up, it's the same. So now you have to.
Were there any security officers that were with us?
No,
You said
from
there were like 2 engineers.
right. I don't think that there were any security officers from what I recall. I should have wrote that down. I knew you had engineers.
We had like another medical staff, at least one.
Right. And I think
And
the
then
the lack of security was the reason you kind of are at the top of the hierarchy there.
Okay, so like obviously Tamal is probably actually one of the most like equipped because there's no security people. We're all bad at shooting, or I mean, I don't know that Tola is not bad at shooting, but I probably say, all right, Tola, you should stay back and make sure no one else comes into the cargo bay. And I don't know if my comms got out to engineering and that we need the Jeffries tubes sealed off. Are you okay by yourself? I can't leave Tamal with whatever.
Whatever you say, my fearless leader.
All right, just make sure no one's wandering around aimlessly. All right, and I turn back to where Tamal like went towards the airlock, and I follow half-heartedly.
So
I
yeah,
was
you,
muted, that's why.
yeah.
Does
So did
Tamal
you
know that Tula has these badges?
I don't know. Did you do this discreetly or obviously, Tula? Can you do anything discreetly?
I mean, I was a spy. Yeah, I think I would have done it discreetly, but they're gonna find out I have one.
Yeah, I would say you probably don't know. Maybe you covered it with your hair a little bit. So that, because I would assume you would know Tamal would not be happy about it if she knew you had 2 comm badges.
You're not allowed to have that, Tula. You are not authorized.
What do you mean? I'm the morale officer. Oop.
That is not a real job.
Our
to focus.
leader assigned it to me, as it seems real to me.
I don't have time for this.
Is it
I will continue to approach space.
What was that?
Was that happening over comm?
Oh, over comm. Well, and also, is it happening in stereo because you're using 2 comm badges? Like, just the echo of your voice twice.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love it. Seems real to me. Seems real to me. Seems real to me. Seems real to me.
Small hates this.
We have someone boarding. We really and like I assume that we're like getting close to the airlock now, and we see like the wonderful badass silhouette of a person with a gun slung over their shoulder entering.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably see that same silhouette with the gun slung over and like one hand on their own communicator, like just listening. Oh, you're back, Blue Jay.
Yeah, I just had to refresh.
You're moving.
Yay. Yeah, you definitely see a silhouette of somebody who has their own hand on their communicator, like just listening to you guys have a conversation.
While Lidra and Tamal are going to like physically search for Agent Thorn, and I've promised to stay in the cargo bay, am I able to like reach out to see if I sense anybody new?
For sure.
And what sort of information I could gather from that? What role would you like me to do?
Actually, I think with Betazoids, you picked Empath, didn't you?
Yeah.
If you want to try to pick out a specific person, it might be a contested task if Thorn is prepared to deal with Betazoids.
I would love to contest Agent Thorn.
Ooh, contest. And I think we had picked 2 for telepathy, because I can't remember if it has it in here.
It's been presence and command in the past, for me at least.
So let's do a contested presence and command.
Was it presence
check.
or insight?
It's been different times, yeah. It could be insight makes sense too.
I think insight is to look into like someone else, like try and like insight is like an insight check, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
Presence
but I
would
feel
be
like
kind of like
I feel like
influence.
Thorn could use presence to resist.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fair.
Cool.
Okay. So my insight is 10 and my command is 5. So I need a 15 or lower.
Yes. And however many successes you get, or how many
Wow,
Thorn has
this
to
is like the worst I've ever done at anything.
Oh,
I don't know how I feel about it.
So
Agent
TK,
Thorn is making me question everything.
you'll also roll 2d20.
Okay.
Now, and
what
you
am
have
I-
to get
It's /die space 2d20.
Okay.
and you're trying to get below your presence plus, what did we say, command score?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're trying to
So
get
I
below
need
that number.
I need lower than a 13.
Mm-hmm.
Boop.
Oh, and you got a crit.
Someone
So-
was Tula did something.
You got
I-
3 successes. So 1 is a crit, so you get 2 successes.
Oh, neat. I imagine that Thorn was given a roster of people to expect before getting on the ship. So it's probably already steeled.
So I sense that there's somebody new, and then I like hit a wall, and Tula just gasps, and then she leaves the cargo bay.
Just like, goodbye.
To go sneak after Lidra and Tamal to see what they see.
Oh, I thought you were just leaving like, no.
I just shoot myself into space.
She's disobeying a direct order is what she's doing right now.
Sounds like she's ready to commit to this space dating sim. She's kind of like, well, I mean, Garrett's on another ship, so it's probably fine.
So yeah, I see you with a hand on a comm badge, and maybe there's just like a little glint of like silver or whatever in the light. And Tamal's got her phaser out, but I guess I'm trying to maybe present a more like diplomatic front, like where you're good cop, bad copping it right now.
I would like to point out that
no.
Tamal has like, she's a medical officer, so she has like no trigger discipline. Just like it's on that thing.
Excellent.
She got that thing on her.
I looked it up not too long ago. Do I have a silver badge or do I have a black badge?
Oh shit! Doesn't Agent 30? Yeah, you might have like a all black everything.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
you absolutely see that it is a comm, but it is a black comm instead of a silver one.
Shit.
That's so cool.
So like there's this moment of hesitation where we get the backlit badass, and then like our eyes adjust to the lighting balance from the airlock from the cargo bay, and then Lidra probably says, isn't it customary to hail before boarding a ship?
You'll see sort of like the shoulders square a little bit, and then like a sort of very deliberate turn, and a little bit of just this like tilt of the head, just so sorry about that. I've never been a good flyer, and I just borrowed one of those ships so I could get to you as soon as possible.
I'm assuming that you're from Section 31, then.
And Thornell, both hands up. You got me. I'm here to save the day.
And I look over at Tamal and give the like eyes of like, oh my god, this is awful. And then be like, well, your timing couldn't be better. Our most infected has just escaped containment and entered the Jeffries tubes. So, save away.
Yeah. Thornell, like, drag their eyes kind of across the ceiling, and well, that does sound like a problem. Where's your security detail?
We don't have one.
Tamal holds up for safe. She's like, I have this though, like trying to sound like a badass, but it's not really working. Again, trigger discipline, just terrible. Could easily shoot somebody's ear off at any time.
Yeah, Thorn will see that and just kind of like a quick glance up and down Tamal, and just, you look capable. I'll bet you're a good commander of your ship, huh?
No.
Actually, I'm
They've not been properly trained.
Mm.
I'm the most senior officer that was sent on this ship. We are mostly civilians and some engineering and medical officers.
Okay. Thorn will look her up and down as well, and like notice the trill freckles, and sort of, I look forward to your expertise.
Yes, well, firstly, we do have a creature loose in the Jeffries tubes that could attack anyone at any time, so I think that this discussion will have to continue later. We need to isolate it again. I had the engineering seal off the Jeffries tubes, but I don't know if they heard me or if they were able to.
All right, let's check out containment. And
So you want
to lead the way?
Yeah,
motion.
I want to go back towards the back to the cargo bay. Do you get out of the way, Tulla? Like, do you like hide? Do you attempt to pretend?
I feel like I would have listened in and then tried to sneak back to the cargo bay before you guys got there. If there's a rule I can try to do for that, because Tulla's not going into that room. It's dangerous.
Oh yeah, is there like a stealth? Do we have like a stealth roll?
I feel
we
like
can do?
stealth is control and security, right? Or like
Yeah.
fitness and security if you're trying to do it quickly. But I think this is like a controlled action, right?
Yeah, they're the same for me. the control and fitness. So a 12 or lower.
And we'll say difficulty of 1 because they weren't paying attention to you as much.
And if it comes
We were very
into play,
distracted.
if it comes into play, I do have espionage as a focus.
Oh, you're fine.
So
you're
yes,
good.
I've got 3. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, you
so
sneak
you
away.
totally do it.
Yeah. I somersault into the cargo bay right before you guys get there. And I get up and I just kind of smooth my uniform or dress or whatever I'm wearing. I don't know anything right now.
Are you a little flustered? You're just like, I was here the whole time.
How should we address you, Agent?
Thorn's all right with me, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, Agent Thorn. And then like we're walking into the cargo bay, and I see Tola, and I'm like, Tola, did you get in touch with engineering?
Nope. Hello.
Oh, this is Agent Thorn from Section 31. They're here to help with the problem.
Agent Thorn. It's so lovely to meet you. And I'll like hold out my hand.
Thorn will take her hand in their right hand and then delicately place their left hand over top of Tola's hand and just say, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. We're going to write this as soon as possible. We're going to get everything back the way it needs to be.
Tula's trying to read him again, just trying to get anything from this magnificent being.
Yeah, definitely.
Such a
Like
dork.
if just looking at the physical, Thorn is very much like an androgynous type person, lean but like sort of Nightwing kind of built in the body type. Very much a runner's build, with some bicep to them. And they have a lot of scars on their face, but there's something about them that's like a little charming.
I'm gonna say Tula again like hits that emotional wall and she raises an eyebrow and she kind of squeezes your hand that's holding her hand and just says, I'm sure with your help, Agent, anything's possible.
Yeah, Thorn will trace a circle around Tula's hand and then let go.
Jesus.
And then we make out. Not yet. Later.
So I see like this very like obvious, like almost kind of southern greeting, like the like yes ma'am, like whatever. And I just like there are more important things at the moment, and I say, Tola, you only need 1 comm badge. I agree that it is probably safer for you to be in contact, but just so you know, when we get back to Federation space, it is not allowed for you to be wearing a symbol of Federation rank. You're not in Starfleet.
I understand completely, my dear. Extenuating circumstances right now.
Exactly.
Does our friend here need one?
And I like gesture at the like black badge, just like because I assume we're all in a line pretty much with Tola in front of us.
Tula
They
had
are
placed her
equipped.
hand on Agent Thorn's chest where a comm badge would go, and then it just kind of drifts down to where his comm badge is. And she's like, oh, okay. I'll just hold on to the second one then.
And I you're flustered by it at all. Agent Thorn's just kind of like, seems normal.
Seems normal. And
I like
as
tap on my comm badge, and I'm just like, engineering, come in.
yeah, you don't hear any response, but you do hear a scream coming from the warp core area.
I
Back
start
in
running.
the ship.
I run. I'm running.
You heard a scream?
Yes.
Oh,
my god.
Yeah, let's all run.
Yeah. Or will unsling their I almost said plasma rifle, phaser rifle, and take the back. Like, let them go ahead of them and watch their backs as they go.
Good.
As you enter the engine room with the warp core and everything, you see Perrin is there half out of a Jeffries tube and just has her like at this point she does look worse than what she used to look.
Oh god.
Her I need to draw this, but her head is just like kind of a frilled mushroom shape, and her maw is very long. It's so long that it has the entire like head and torso of this person in her mouth, and she's like dragging him into the tube, and she like turns and looks at you briefly and then continues to like pull this body, which is like flailing around, into the Jeffries tube with her.
Oh god.
And it is it's one of the two engineering officers that you have.
Oh no.
Excellent.
Where's the other one?
I'm gonna say that we have two. One's a lieutenant and one's a lieutenant junior grade. And one's Lieutenant Culber. I'm naming them from a list of Star Trek names. And one is Lieutenant Damar.
And would you
Damar.
Would Lidra have known them, I guess, from
yeah, because I was talking with them before, right?
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think Damar is Bajoran, and Culber is a human. And you can choose who's in the maw of the beast.
We'll say that it is Damar.
Cool. Great. I probably, in my rush to get here, didn't I don't think I ever said I equipped a phaser, and I don't think as a medical officer I would just have one. I know that Tamal had said before that she grabbed one, but I don't think that I don't remember doing it. So probably in my rush to get here, I didn't realize that I wasn't actually armed. And so I see Perrin with the officer in her jaw, and I kind of balk a little bit, and then I turn around and I'm like, Tamal, you have to do something. And then I look around to see if I can see the other officer.
Can I just start firing wildly? Is that a
I mean, you could do a ranged attack, actually. I think this
that's control and security, right?
Yeah. I was on there we go. Ranged. Where did it go?
I'm fairly certain it's control and security. I have combat right here. You have to
control and security with a difficulty of 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my security and control is 12.
And are you trying to stun or kill?
Yeah, you have to declare if it's lethal or non-lethal.
Kill.
Lethal.
Oh,
so
nothing.
a point is added to the threat pool.
And you can, you already had, out of combat, you had that phaser prepped and ready to roll. So I think your minor action could be to aim, since you already have it pulled out, which...
Okay.
So you roll a d20 for that, right?
Yeah, you can re-roll a single d20 made on an attack.
Okay.
So if you roll one...
I will roll d20.
You roll two d20.
Yeah, you roll. It's a 2d20 control and security with a difficulty of 2, and then you can re-roll one of those 20s if you would like.
Okay. Let me roll the 2. Okay. Got 2.
Oh, we forgot to bank momentum from the... Well, I guess those were versus successes, so it didn't really matter.
Oh, to add for that double success?
Yeah. Oh, for the sneaking, you would have banked momentum for the sneaking because you only needed to get a 1 and you got 3. So there's
Yeah,
two.
so we
There's
got 2.
There's two momentum banked. So you can actually, if you wanted to spend that momentum, you could roll. Did you already roll?
I did. I got a 15 and a 2.
Okay, what
So
is
do
your
those
control
both-
and security? I have your sheet
My
printed out.
security is a 7. My control is
But your security is a 7? That's impossible.
what is it supposed to be?
High
Disciplines
old
can only be
disciplines are-
1. Disciplines can be 1 to 5.
I think your security should be 5.
Okay. It should be 5. Sorry, looking at the wrong thing.
So is it 5 and 5?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a 10.
But
And what were the 2?
her attributes can't be below 7 either.
Maybe
Yeah,
she
Oh,
my
then
has
that
to
is
do that.
weird. Oh, yeah, your sheet's a little off. Because I'm looking at your sheet and you have a 5 in control. Was it 5 added on to a number? So would that be do you start with 3 in each of these?
For attributes, you start with
I
7.
Remember, because I had to fix my sheet. This is
So I
the one
think
that
it
I
should
sent you,
be-
and then I got it back.
Oh, okay. I think it should be, if it's 7 and you have 5 written here, should it have been a 12 or is that?
Yeah, probably. It probably should have been a 12.
Okay, so
So
that
12
means you had 1 success, but you can re-roll 1 of the die because you minor action aimed.
I will re-roll a die. Okay. 5.
Okay, so you
Okay.
have 2 successes.
You did it.
Yeah.
So we can do damage, which is a new thing for us too. Because that was the one thing. So
Yeah, damage is going to be your security plus the weapon's damage rating, which I believe for a phaser is
2, I
let me
think.
check.
yeah, I think it's a 2.
So you roll that many d6s.
2 d6s.
No, plus your security, whatever.
Okay. Oh. Plus my security, so 5.
5 d6s you'll roll.
Okay.
And then does Perrin have any kind of cover? She does have a person in her mouth.
Yes, and she's partially in the 2, but I would say she's sticking out pretty well and she's looking directly at you. So I wouldn't say that she has any cover there in that situation.
Okay.
She was pretty out in the open.
Okay, so you just
Okay,
rolled
so-
the 5 d6s.
Do I need to add them up or give individually?
Give individual ones.
Okay, 3, 2, 2, 4, 4.
Okay,
So
so the
4
2 and the
damage?
2 is 4 damage, and because you didn't
Yep.
get a 5 or a 6, there are no extra effects.
Okay, so just 4 damage.
Uh-huh.
All right, so you fire at Perrin, and it kind of hits her on what seemingly would have been her cheek, and it does not seem to do much at all to her. She, like, a little bit of black ooze kind of comes out from the little mark there, but it kind of slices through, and she just reaches her arms out, grabs the rest of the body, and sucks herself back up into the Jeffries tube.
No!
Are we going to let her pick us off one by one? We have to deal with this creature.
No, we aren't going to let her pick us off. And I look around, but we have to find Lieutenant Culber. And
Do I sense anybody else in the room?
You don't sense. I don't think you sense any. You sense a very faint feeling, like the feelings of someone very faintly over in a dark corner, and you can see a body laying there.
I rush over. Is it Lieutenant Culber?
No, it's just one of the civilians. I believe there was a woman that was helping with the medical, not the that kind of helped with the younger girl that was there, and she's just kind of laying there on the ground, not really coherent. She's kind of got claw marks in her back.
Tamal, can you see if, like, can you see if, and like I get out my tricorder and like start scanning her to see like if she's savable, I guess.
Yeah, she's definitely savable. She's bleeding, but it looks like whatever, she was maybe attacked first and Damar got in the way and Perrin went after him instead and then heard you coming and kind of ran off. So she could be stabilized pretty easily. I would say easily enough to where it's not even a challenge if you would just want to go ahead and stabilize her.
Can you tell from the blood or gore or whatever's in this room whether that creature ate more people?
Computer, locate Lieutenant Colber.
You hear the computer just like and said, Lieutenant Colber is in the living quarters.
And I like hit my comms again. Lieutenant Colber? Colber, please come in.
You hear silence for a little bit, and then you hear a man whisper over the comm and be like, "Yeah, don't use the comms. It'll hear you. We need to be quiet."
And like,
we're hiding. There's a bunch of us hiding. We're okay for now.
Okay.
I want to take Tula's comms. Just like pull them off. They're like, you don't know.
Yeah, just yank them off.
Yeah.
Agent, do you have expertise in dealing with these types of creatures? Why were you sent?
Well, you see, I hunt monsters all over to defend the Federation. This is the first time I've seen anything like this before, though. It's a little exciting, isn't it? Well, and horrifying.
I like go over to one of the engineering command panels, and I'm gonna try and like lock down the Jeffries tubes, like seal them all.
Ooh, with this will be interesting. Okay.
I think that'd be control and engineering.
Yeah, and we'll say, I wonder how difficult they would make it to lock down the Jeffries tubes.
I mean, I think the only difficulty is that there are holes in them now, right?
Yeah. So there's some you can't lock down because she ripped the door off of the one in the cargo bay. And
there's still like an emergency force fields, right?
That's true. Yeah, if you want to put up force, instead of like kind of locking the doors so no one can open them, you could just try and enact like a force field. So I would say if you wanted to lock the doors, it's a difficulty of 1, but if you wanted to try and generate some force fields over them, it's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Okay, yeah, I can roll for that. I don't think I have any focuses that will help me with this, and so far my previous hosts are only a neurologist and a diplomat, so let's just go. Can I use one of your momentum, Tula?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will use one momentum so that I can roll 3d20, and I have to get a 13 or lower. And I totally fucking do. 3 successes.
Woo!
Put another momentum in the pool, and I'm just like I guess typing, like punching in buttons on the control panels, and like it's brought up a picture of the ship blueprints, and I'm like, looks like the Jeffries tubes have been damaged here, and here. We have security force fields, right? Security force fields that I can put in place, and then computer, and then
Yes.
there's a little like. Boop.
Yep.
Can you lock onto the life signs of all of the crew and civilians and monitor them?
Yes, there is, and then it kind of comes across and says there's one life sign in I guess engineering, it would be called engineering, the warp core room where you are, there is one faint life sign in the cargo bay, and the remainder of the life signs are in the living quarters.
Right. If any of those, I would like to set the computer to alert me if any of those life signs like are in a trauma state or something like that.
Okay, it just like red alert accepted, red alert alarm,
like heart rate.
Yeah, basically, it's just like keeping track of people in the same way that you would like keep a transporter lock, right?
Yeah.
So I turned to Tamal, who was stabilizing Officer Not Peters, and do we have a name for that medical officer? Tamal, you should make it up because you probably work with her. I don't remember making up another name for her.
I think we had a name. I think we had someone named Keel, but I don't think that was her. Maybe it was. The little girl was Clara. I think it was Keel.
Sorry, what was that?
Did you say it was Officer Keel, Kayla?
I think it was. We'll say it is because it's been a couple weeks. It's fine. That's
okay. Officer Keel. She's stabilized. I don't know that the cargo bay is a safe place to keep her anymore. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, we should move her somewhere.
Maybe we can bring her to... I don't want to keep everyone in the same place, but I also don't want her to be alone in the state. Is there like a 10 forward or cafeteria type place in the in relations to living quarters? Maybe we can bring her there.
Yes, there was a cafeteria area.
There.
Okay, so I would help to like gently lift her and probably head out that way, kind of confident with my having just set up the Jeffries tubes and security force fields that will be safe even though both of our hands are full and Agent Thorne is here. So we should be okay.
We'll do that.
As you all were talking about really important stuff and things, Tula's in the corner trying to quietly talking into her comm badge and going, "Come in, Officer Greggy. Officer Greggy, are you okay?" I'm a good aunt.
You
reply?
Don't. He does not reply.
I'm visibly upset. Also, Tula is too.
So, Thorne, I assume you're kind of quietly taking it all in, trying to understand what's going on.
Just watching people, watching their reactions to things. I see three what appear to be very capable women who have all apparently been dealing with a lot of garbage for a while. They're not reacting the way that people typically do in some of the crises that Thorne has been sent to resolve. So Thorne is kind of like, okay, this is interesting, and at one point does go over next to Tula and kind of like offers a hand to help her up.
Thank you, Agent Thorne. I am sorry if I seem very emotional right now. I can't get in touch with my nephew. And I'll just lean against you.
Oh. Thorne will re-sling the phaser rifle and sort of like set one hand on top of her head, but also never take their eyes off of Tamal or Lidra. Just sort of stand there, but also continue to observe these other two people.
Yeah, Tula is upset about Greggy, but she's hamming it up, trying to get close to Thorne and break into his brain, and just continually hits that wall, and it really freaks her out.
Mm-hmm. I would say that when you try to probe against Thorn's brain, it's not like a stone wall, it's like a wall of glass. And it's just smooth and placid. And
Thorn is pretty smooth.
Yeah, it is. But just like imperturbable. There is zero emotional reaction to watching a monster suck an innocent person up into a Jeffrey's tube. There is zero reaction to seeing you tearfully speak to your nephew on the communicator. Like, this is all, it is blank.
Yeah, Tula doesn't trust them.
And as you're kind of reaching into Thorn's mind and experiencing all this blankness, you hear a multitude of screams from the living quarters section.
Oh, not from their mind. Not
does
screams
Thorn,
in their mind.
No. Does Thorn give kind of a reaction to hearing screams at all, or any reaction there, or still?
When Thorn hears screams, it's kind of like a dog who can sense the mailman is down the street. So it's a very slow, like, turn of the head towards the hallway. Well, I think we better get out there. Sounds like real trouble.
I thought you sealed the tubes. Did it get out?
So I'm like carrying part of Officer Keel's like semi-unconscious body with Tamal, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And then like shuffling a little bit faster towards the cafeteria.
Yeah. As you shuffle that way, someone kind of runs out from the living quarters and is just like, it's in there, it's got a dead body and it's shoving it against the force field. There's some force field blocking the Jeffrey's tube and it's trying to shove this body through it.
Oh my god. Okay. Here, and I like the person who's saying that, I like gesture to them to come over and grab Officer Keel, and I'm like, I've sealed off the Jeffrey's tubes. They shouldn't be able to get anyone else, but I need you have to take Officer Keel. We have to deal with this emergency.
Yeah, the person just takes her and starts taking her somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm. I guess we know where we need to go next.
Yeah, it's just back in the living quarters. So you see, like, as you head that way, there's people kind of like running from one specific room. Just because I guess a bunch of them had been hiding in there, and you hear just this loud like thud over and over and over.
God. Okay. Yeah, I like make sure everyone gets out of the room before like we go in.
Okay.
What do we see?
Who runs past us?
It's just a lot of civilians. You don't see the other engineering officer, and you don't see Greggy, because it looks like people were kind of hiding in a few different rooms, but in this one room, it was just all civilians. You see the young girl, Clara, run by. She's crying.
When Thorn does see Clara run by, Thorn will immediately drop to one knee and set a hand on Clara's shoulder.
She's a little startled, and she's just like, she kind of gets a little more freaked out because there's just this imposing figure covered in scars, just like, hello, child.
Yeah, and Thorn will like dab a thumb across her cheek and say, do you need to be somewhere safe?
And she kind of just sniffles, and she's like, yes.
Okay. And Thorn will like murmur the location of the spaceship and say, stay in there, lock the doors, don't do anything until I come to get you.
Oh, on your space station?
Yep, on my spaceship.
Yeah, she immediately runs that way. She doesn't have any family or anything with her, so she's just like, I don't know, I trust this person, and just like runs. So she's heading to your ship. And as you enter the room, you see that Perrin has been like smashing whatever is left of that body so hard against the force field, it's just like turning into pulp, just trying to shake it or make a point of something, and it's just this like bloody mess on the side of the force field.
God.
This is unsavory.
Parents, stop.
And she stops, and she kind of looks at you and bares her teeth and makes this awful like clicking noise, and she just stares at you, waiting for you to say something.
And I'm just like, I can't believe she actually stopped. So there's like a moment of like, okay, what do I do now? But then I say, fine, you've finally gotten out of my head and into reality. What is it that you want? I won't let you hurt any more of these people.
She stares for a minute, and you just hear this popping noise, and she immediately like dissolves into a whole bunch of spores and spreads in the tube and goes in the cracks in the walls. And you don't see where she went.
God damn it.
What just happened?
I don't know. She turned into like spores or something. Oh,
Has she always been able to do that?
she hasn't always been able to. She was contained before we got on board. She escaped.
How long did it take to get like this?
Perrin? What has it been, like a week? A couple weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
The infection has been, we think it started with her. She's been in stasis for about 2 weeks. It should have slowed the growth of whatever this is, but now that she's out, it appears that it's gotten a little faster. I don't know what this is full of.
I get up close to the super gross force field wall, and kind of look side to side inside of it, and turn to Lidra and say, "The force field's still containing the spores, though, right? It's still in there."
The force field is only on the parts of the Jeffries tubes that were damaged, not all of it. There's no way to... In order to have enough power to put force fields on the interior of the entire ship, we would have to draw from somewhere. I'm not an engineer. I'm a doctor.
I start just backing up into the center of the room, staring at all of the walls, and I just say, "So she could be anywhere."
Yeah.
And as you say that, you hear the ventilation kick in, and you hear the fans start whirring, and it occurs to you that perhaps this is bad because she is a bunch of spores now that can get into the air.
Perhaps it's bad, Kayla. Perhaps.
Perhaps.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I swear in Trill, and then I run back to the nearest command control panel and try and deactivate the not the actual, just the movement of air, right? I don't want to turn off life support, but I want to try and slow it down.
Okay.
I have a focus in xenobiology. Can I think about how actual fungus spores move around, and if there's any way to slow them, if maybe cold air slows them down, or heat or something? Can I make a roll to try and figure out how a fungus might move around and how to slow it?
Sure. Yeah. I do think though that if there's no airflow, there's no way for them to move. So I don't know if you would know that or if you want to roll to do that, but that seemed like your first assessment is probably going to be the best because they kind of move on the wind, They're not
Right.
going because she just kind of exploded and then they kind of drifted, but they didn't seem like they could move of their own volition.
Okay. All right. So yeah, then I'll just try and turn off the airflow on the ship and be like, it might get a little stuffy, but hopefully it'll slow her down.
Okay. I feel like that would be pretty easy to do. I don't think that would be a challenge or anything. There's probably there's certain things about the life, all that stuff, air and air conditioning and
Space
heating
air.
that you would be able to like whatever you can handle that pretty easily. So you turn that off and you don't hear anything. The fans stop. There's no one screaming. There's people kind of milling around, not really sure what to do. Thorn, are you doing anything in relation to
How long
the
have we been in
alien
this
and
room?
stuff? Just a couple minutes.
Okay. And what Thorn's never been in this room. I don't know what this room looks like.
Okay, I think you're in the little command area. If you went to go change the air settings and things like that, that's just the main bridge, the bridge of the cargo
Lindra
ship.
did.
Okay, where you're still somewhere else.
Thorn is alone, or Thorn believes Thorn is alone, under the guise of seeking out where else Perrin may be trying to come out of vents and stuff on the way back to their spaceship.
Okay. So you're kind of looking around as you head back to your spaceship. You're looking around to see if you can sense any movement or anything like that. Yeah. You do hear some thudding in the Jeffries tubes, but it sounds much smaller than the size that Perrin sounded like before.
Oh no.
And it's kind of like following you, kind of following the direction that you're in.
I don't love this. Gonna speed up. Gonna speed up and go ahead and head back to the ship.
Okay.
I've got some stuff there that I can get.
So your ship is docked kind of off of the cargo bay. So are you I think you kind of have to go through that to get to the airlock. And as you do, you see you enter the cargo bay room and it's very dark and you see a kind of large dog-sized shape over in the dark corner over near the opened Jeffries tube that could not be sealed because it was damaged.
This is a problem because Thorn's charges are in the ship. So if I'm going to be using any explosives, they are in that ship. Okay. Thorn's going to unsling their phaser rifle and go ahead and use aim and see if a pew pew does anything.
Okay.
And you said
Arranged is control and security with a difficulty of 2, and if you're aiming, you get to re-roll one of the 20s.
It has an accurate thing, so the thing said that I get to roll any number of d20s when it has an accurate.
Okay. Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
and as you're aiming, you can see, you can see that this is like it looks like Perrin, but it's about half the size that she was originally, and looks more beast-like. Definitely, it's like the size of a large dog, and it's like baring its teeth at you.
Okay. Yeah, especially precise, often incorporating additional size, blah, blah, blah. Aim, minor action. Any number of d20s may be re-rolled. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so you said it's control and security?
Correct.
Okay, so 12. And I roll 2 d20s?
Yep.
Boop. Do I not?
You can. No, I was saying we have a momentum if you wanted to roll 3, but you could re-roll that one with the accurate, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I can. And I think because I'm an NPC, I pull from threat.
Oh, right.
LOL. That's fine. Cool.
Okay, so you used accurate to re-roll that one, but you also aimed,
Yeah,
so I guess you can also re-roll again?
Yeah. I don't know if it stacks or not, but I would say it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I only reroll once. I'm not gonna spend the whole day trying to get a.
Trying to keep
Yeah.
till I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you try to shoot this thing and it completely misses and it dashes right past you further back into the ship.
Thorn will curse like shit, but also this kind of works out for me. So Thorn will go past where it was and moving at a quick pace, run to their spaceship.
Okay. The three of you, I guess, did you notice that Thorn left?
I was probably like involved in like one being grossed out by the gore that used to be Lieutenant Damar, and two, like probably more worried about like I don't know. I probably if I was doing anything in the hallway, it was trying to make sure that the other civilians were okay. And like trying to think about like because I went out to go to the nearest control panel, right? So I'm just trying to think about like how else to address the situation. So I don't think I noticed that happening.
Tula has been keeping an eye on Agent Thorn, so I feel like she would have noticed. But she would have seen them heading towards their ship and then gone in the other direction to the the helm with our communications computer.
Mm-hmm.
And she would head there for her own something she wants to do.
Okay. Tamal, did you notice?
Probably not.
Tula, what did you want to do at the communications panel?
So I, last episode, was able to use it. So I'm like, boop, 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 and I'm like pulling levers and stuff. And she's trying to get a message, and she enters the destination of Turok Nor.
Okay.
And says access code 10 Lubac, which she believes should get her in communications with in Elam Scarrick's communications.
Okay.
And if he doesn't pick up, she's going to leave a message.
She's just gonna leave a voicemail.
A space voicemail?
Space mail. You open that line of communication and it's kind of a little garbled, but he does answer. I don't think he would know that it's you necessarily, because I don't know what kind of signal that would be coming from. So
like all garbled coming through. Tula will just say, Elam, first of all, how dare you let me get sent onto this death mission and keep yourself trapped there with Darius. But I don't have time for that. We don't have a lot of time. There's somebody's on our ship. His name is Agent Thorn. He has a communicator that's black. I don't know what that means. But things are really bad here. I need you to get me as much information as possible. And I'll try to contact you again soon. But things are bad. I don't... if I can't contact you again, then it's okay. And I hope you'll be okay.
On his end, he only caught most of that, like large chunks of it. And he tries to respond, but you only kind of catch a little bit, maybe like a smattering of words, which include don't trust, coming to get, open controls, pilot ship, head to planet is all you get. And then you get a muffled sorry, and then it cuts.
Okay.
And are either of you kind of at the main control panel? Is the communications? So you're at the communications, and
Yeah,
Lidra,
I
were
went
you
back
over
to the
kind of like at the
helm.
main control? You're at the helm.
Yeah.
You do see that as that clicks out, autopilot is taken off, so you're able to pilot the ship now.
Oh.
Because currently, where you were, it was just kind of taking you to some unknown destination in the Gamma Quadrant, but now you are able to pilot the ship.
Okay. Noted.
Maybe if we land the ship on a Katem planet, we can seal off the ship or we can jettison it. We can jettison it out of the atmosphere and self-destruct, and then the problem's gone, right? Just blow it up. Just whatever it is. Just they'll come back for us. They'll find us. We're all gonna die if we stay on this ship.
I agree with you there.
So,
And-
what's the nearest habitable class M planet? And I start scanning.
Yeah, you start scanning, and then Thorn, what do? You head back to your ship? Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
My gosh, again, I can't be trusted. I can't be trusted. Thorn is headed back to their ship to pick up some explosive charges.
Okay. Nobody's following you or trying to stop you, so I will say you successfully go get those.
Is Claire in the ship?
Yes, she is in the ship. She's sitting kind of in your little co-pilot seat, just waiting for you.
Okay. And Thorn will strap her in and kind of like brush her hair a little bit with Thor's big o hands and say, "Do you trust me? Will you trust me to be right back?"
And she kind of sniffles, and she's like,
"All right, darling. I'm going to be right back. And whatever you do, just stay right here where it's safe."
she kind of like buckles herself in.
Okay. And Thorn's going to go and start laying charges in the docking bay.
Okay. Yeah, you have no issues. The dog or beast form of Perrin has kind of disappeared. Just kind of ran deeper into the ship. It's smaller. No one has noticed it. There's no screaming. None of you up on the bridge would know. So you're laying some charges.
Yeah. I'm gonna blow up this ship.
Blow the ship up, bitch. Like,
I'll blow at least the docking bay and then take my sample.
take a sample and go.
Yeah, that's what Thorn's doing, so.
And Lidra,
Good.
you do find a planet that you can land on it. It's probably a couple minutes away. You're very close to it. You were about to pass by it. So you could easily pilot the ship into that planet and land.
I mean, you say
Or
easily,
run it into the
but-
planet. I know.
Right,
I haven't looked.
into the planet.
I actually have not looked at ship piloting mechanics yet.
I mean,
so,
it's probably
you know.
control and con, right?
Yeah, and I think there's like a whole section for it too. Like there's more to it, but we'll just break it down to something
the
easy.
thing with this system is that like you can choose to make things as complicated or as simple as you want. Like the basic stuff is just like 2d20 and your stats, right? Like there are like mini systems for a bunch of stuff, but like if you're just playing a short series, like I don't know if it's necessary. Then
No, I
again,
don't
it can
think
make
so.
it cool and complicated and like get more complex results and stuff. But you know, anyway, does anyone? If I am vaguely familiar with any of the crew remaining alive on the vessel, would anyone have a better one than I do? Is anyone? Hey, Tamal, do you have any experience piloting?
Tula
Okay.
Has a 4 in con, so that's pretty good. Back in the day, getting between events, I did have to pilot a small ship now and then.
Great. Awesome. I'll leave it in your hands then. I will scan for a suitable landing place on the surface and, or maybe, no, I have a better idea. We're not going to land. Get us into orbit of that planet. I'm going to, and I like run out into like the nearest like science or like the pseudo medical bay that we had set up. I want to try and figure out a way to, because I have all of my work, right? The studies that I'd been doing before.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try and separate, because you said that the way that the fungus, like it kind of like infiltrated the genetic structure of the like host in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get from the computer older transporter logs from before this happened for everyone that I can. Like all of the logs that are available. And I want to compare them to the most recent transporter logs that I have, and or I probably did scans of everyone because all these people have been verified as infected, right? So they were all scanned.
Right.
So I want to get like their transporter logs from before they were infected, and I'm gonna try and like set up the transporter so that it will revert their genetic code to a pre-fungal state.
Okay.
And then we'll beam people in groups down to the surface and then set the ship to self-destruct.
Okay. So you're working kind of on some research. Tula's going to get you in orbit of the planet. And Tamal, are you doing anything in this situation?
Probably panicking because everybody is doing jobs that they were not trained for, and this is not logical.
Tula sits
I
down.
am of no help to anyone.
Tula sits down, just like, don't trust. Head to planet. Sure. What does this lever do?
Boop, boop, boop. Tamal, are you on the bridge, kind of watching Tula do her thing, and Ledra's kind of went back to the medical area?
Yes, I am watching and attempting to offer advice, but I'm just as trained in piloting this as like Tamal thinks she is. So she's like trying to point out levers but doesn't remember any of this, and just, like is being probably very annoying as if the roles have been reversed.
No, Tula loves it.
She's like,
spending time with me.
My best friend.
Yes, my dear, very helpful. I'm sure this lever is the right one, and then I just pull a different one.
So, Ledra, since you're back kind of in the medical area, you do hear Thorn, who is kind of in that adjacent hallway, clunking around. You hear something happening there. You hear someone kind of like setting some heavy metal things down on the ground, because they're kind of in that little airlock hallway that's connected to the cargo bay.
I probably like was starting to like get in my zone, and then there's a loud noise, and then I probably thinking it's a civilian who maybe is in danger, or like Karen doing something else again. I grab a phaser from the bags and gear that's like set down in the cargo bay, and I like slowly approach with it just like it's just in my hand, like at my side. I'm not like raised and like pointing, and I say, if you're a civilian, you should get to the living quarters or over and I'm just like moving slowly forward and like hoping it's not Perrin.
When Thorn hears her approach, because she's calling out ahead of herself, Thorn will kind of stand up and kind of lazily sling their phaser rifle forward and kind of just wait for her to get in the doorway.
I assume, like, I do, and I'm just like, I have the phaser at my side, and I'm just like, Agent Thorne, aren't you supposed to be hunting a creature, or are you leaving us?
Well, here's the thing. I feel really bad about this. You all seem like such nice ladies, and God, I really hate that this is the way that things had to go, and I feel like if you could only just understand where, and he just shoots.
So yeah, are you shooting to kill or to stun?
To stun.
Okay. So still a ranged attack, so control, security, difficulty of 2.
Okay. I would like to borrow threat.
Okay. You may.
I hate you.
Alright. No, we're friends, so I gotta beat 12.
Yes.
I did not use aim on this.
Oh,
I
you got
mean-
one's a double success though. One is a double success, so.
Yeah, but when you borrow from threat, you get 1 extra die.
Yep.
Do I? Oh
So
no, I
yep.
forgot.
So you can roll another one.
So I can.
Yeah.
I can.
I mean, not that I want you to like extra success, but like that's how
I
it works. So 3
Yeah, yeah.
successes.
Yes. And
So
I
that
think
would
like
actually put 1 back in threat, right? Because you only needed 2. Yeah.
Yes. And you can spend
Oh.
that threat to add a complication, I think, to it. So it could probably knock Lidra back if you wanted to, or something like that.
Actually, this phaser type has the escalation, so it adds 2 to your momentum because I used it and succeeded.
Oh, okay.
Because-
So I will write that down.
So yeah, so it does add 1 to threat, but you now have 2 momentum.
Okay. I'm keeping track. We got 4 right now.
I had to make a cheat
so-
sheet.
What's the damage? It's your
4
security plus the weapon.
Okay. So the weapon is 4, and then my security. Sorry, I have this on my Dropbox, so I have to jump back and forth. Is 5.
So you roll
Whoa.
96.
So I roll 96.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
This gonna hurt you a lot. I did stun specifically.
It's fine. You're fondly. Also, you
Okay,
can just
good.
roll a bunch of 3s and 4s. Don't worry about it.
All right, so I'm gonna do that. So 4 and then 5. So that's what we're looking at.
Okay. 1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, which is actually more than I have HP.
So yes,
So,
you are
like,
passed
even
out.
without
You're
the
like
complications, I just like fly back and fall on my ass and am completely like out.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Even without like complications and effects and stuff. Like I'm out.
Oh snap! And the thing would go off too. The computer would go off.
Yes, the red alert immediately goes off, and
Yeah.
Tula and Tamal, you this is going off. It's flashing red, and Tamal, you turn around, and that smaller beast parent is standing there, and it runs at you and explodes into spores, and they just like go in up your nose, like into your skull.
Cool. I will immediately start panicking and screaming. My emotions have completely run away from me at this point.
And
so
Tula, you're-
Lidra had just gone into the hallway, right? To investigate
yeah, you just
that noise.
Yeah. Well, you saw
So
her
I feel
leave.
like
I ran back to the medical, like set up medical bay and the cargo bay. Like I'd run back
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I was like, I need to do this thing.
But you can probably
I'm just
censor
wondering-
distress too.
Yeah, so
I
my
mean,
question was
definitely there's an alarm going off. Like
Yeah, the
there's a
alarm's
red
going
alert.
off. And you're an empath,
Um,
so I think you would sense that something was wrong with Lidra. You've been around
Yeah,
for enough
so-
to pick up on that.
yeah, so I sense this sudden like spike of betrayal and then nothing. And Lidra just no, I'm not, you're Lidra. Tula gets up, hits the autopilot button, and just runs out of the room. Sorry that I'm leaving you panicking, Jamal.
Tabal's just screaming as you run by.
And I run to where I know Lidra was. And I don't know how you want movement to work in this, but
it's not a huge ship, so you get there pretty quick, but Thorn has had time to get onto their ship and do whatever they need to do in the time that it took you to get there.
yeah. What does that mean?
Thorn was not finished laying out charges, so Thorn is like hurriedly trying to
just like throwing them down.
Finish their job.
All right, so I'm there and I just see a bunch of charges and like there's a hallway and then Thorn's ship. I want to go punch Thorn. Am I able to do that, or did I spend my whole turn running?
I mean, Thorn, what are you gonna do? You've been throwing your stuff down, so it's basically, are you kind of in the hallway ready to run into your ship and you're throwing down these charges right in front of you in the room, and then Tula's on the other side of it at the other side of the room?
Yeah.
And Tula's just my dear, you dropped something.
Yeah, I assume it's like charges in most sci-fi worlds where like they have to be set and things like that. And they all have to go on a timer because I have to be gone by the time they blow up. So they all have to have like a timer set to them. So Tula probably gets there like as Thorn is finishing up like tying wires, and like Lidra's body is like hanging against the wall or something, and Thorn's just like, oh, this isn't how I thought we'd say goodbye.
Oh no, I'm charmed.
Oh no, I feel my charm. I mean, you could you could use movement to...
Yeah, so Tula gets there. You say that. She says her sassy, you drop something thing. And she looks over at Lidra, and she looks over at you. And she just says, it'd be a shame to add another scar to that pretty face. And I just start walking down the hallway.
Thorn kind of like has both hands up and already has slung the phaser rifle back because can't do both. And come on, you have to understand, it's just business. I serve a higher power.
And as he's in the middle of saying that, can I punch him? Or them? Can I punch them?
Yes, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I would like to borrow from our momentum.
Yes, and I think
So
is melee contested?
Melee is a daring security check, typically with a difficulty of 1, opposed by the target's daring and security. Also difficulty 1.
And using 1 momentum.
And I'm going to borrow 1 of the momentum, so I can roll 3.
Okay.
Also, I'm invoking my focus of hand-to-hand combat.
So cool. Thorn also has a focus of hand-to-hand combat.
Oh no!
As well as a mean right hook. So if Thorn hits you back, you'll take a vicious. It's got that vicious of 1. Thorn's, you said it was security and daring?
Correct.
Yeah, so I need an 11 or lower. I got a 1, which counts as 2, and also a 7. Can the 1 count as 3 because of hand-to-hand combat? Like, does it make stuff count as 2, or does it give you an additional thing if you use your focus?
I think the focus just gives you an additional.
Okay, so that 1 is...
Yeah, I'm not sure if the 1 is 3 then, because that doesn't really make sense. I think it's still just 2.
Yeah, I think it's still just 2.
I have a total of 3 successes.
Okay. I need to beat a 16.
Oh.
Darn.
I mean, it's like that's 2 successes, right? So.
Oh, is it? Is a 16 a match?
Yeah. When you meet it works.
Oh, okay.
So we each got at least 1, but it's an opposed check, right? So I still had 1 additional success.
Yes.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna complete punching you.
Yeah, I like to
So
imagine
complete.
that I like to imagine that Tula punches twice and Thorn goes whoo, whoo, and then like there's an uppercut and
Wow.
Thorn's like head just like rocks back.
Cool. Alright, so it's my security is 4 and my damage bonus is also 4. So it's 8d6.
Will you get 4 damage bonus for melee combat? Holy
Yeah.
shit. the
Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 and just straight damage. But the 6 counts as stuff too, right? Or
Both
does it
sixes
doesn't count as damage or just
Both
effect?
6s are count as 2 damage, and then you get an effect.
Okay, so it's 8 damage, and I believe my effect is that you are prone.
Okay, yeah, definitely knocks Thorn down.
Okay.
Thor will kind
What
of
happens now?
reset the jaw, and then
There's
It's been
another
a
thing that happens
long-
if you get more than 5 damage on a fang.
oh yeah.
Because if you take, where is it? If you take more than 5 damage on a single attack or hazard after reduction from resistance, if you have any armor, you would resist with that. The character suffers an injury. So if
Cool.
you suffer an injury, you're incapacitated and unable to take minor actions or attempt any tasks, but you can resolve an injury, by using, I think you would use threat. You can use, you can avoid an injury. It prevents the injury from happening. It costs 2 immediate threat to do so, but you can only do it 1 time.
Oh dang. I don't know if I want Thorn to get knocked out by Tula, so I'm gonna. Do we have 2 threat to
Yes,
spend
yeah.
that?
Yes.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it definitely Thorn definitely sees stars. It is just like on the ground, just like it's been a long time since I beat the shit out of an old lady. But
Oh.
to give it a shot. And Thorn will kick out at your knee.
Rude.
For the unarmed strike, if you're unarmed, the damage rating is only 1 with knockdown. So you would only have rolled 5.
I
That's fine.
have
Still the
like a thing that
Oh, okay.
I think I forget now. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, I think you do. I think you do.
From
It's okay, I'm an NPC.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
It
it's
might have
fine. I just,
It might have been with the hand-to-hand combat thing.
maybe.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember now.
I'll check it out. You just continue on. I just want to
Okay.
make sure that we all know what's going on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, Thorn's gonna try and sweep the leg from the ground.
Sweep the leg.
Sweep the
Okay.
leg.
What do I do? Is this now an opposed check in the other direction?
Yes,
I
I
don't
would
know.
say it's still melee. Yeah, post check.
One sec. Whoop. Move my cat out of the way. All right. 5, 2d, 3. I got 2 successes from the 1 counting as 2 successes. Oh no.
Yeah, and mine is vicious, so I'll
You only get vicious
Add
if you get an effect.
if I get a what effect?
Is it?
Oh,
It's
It says DR knockdown, but I don't know what that means.
that means
Yeah,
that
they have
you do
mean right
you do the
hook.
knockdown if you roll a 5 or a 6.
Okay,
So that's on the
Right.
damage. I'm pretty sure.
all right. Okay, so since I didn't do a 5 or a 6, my mean right hook's not gonna matter.
No,
That's fine then.
5 or 6 on your damage die.
Oh, on my damage die. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
okay.
all new. We're learning.
Yeah. All right. So, did we both get 2 successes?
Yes,
That
you
was
both got
your-
2 successes.
What's your security?
My security is 5.
Then you get 3 successes.
Boo.
Because you have hand-to-hand combat as a focus, so that 4 is 2 successes because it's less than your security.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
neat. Okay, that's cool. That is neat.
You
Okay.
sweep the leg.
I
Yeah, you
sweep the
sweep the
leg.
leggy. Sweep the leggy.
Yes. Do I roll damage now? Is that okay? I forgot
Yes.
what to count for damage. Do I?
So
is it
you're
security
unarmed?
plus?
Is this
Security
unarmed?
plus 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so security plus 1. So 66. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning.
We're all
I'm a learning computer. I'm a learning computer. I'm gonna do 3 and then 3. Boop. I did
Okay,
it.
so you do get effects, which is good. So vicious, the attack inflicts X damage for additional damage for each effect rolled, is what that is. So
Okay.
you rolled two effects. So how much additional damage is that?
2 extra.
2 extra for each, or 2 extra altogether?
No, 2 extra altogether.
Okay, so the 5 is 1, the 6 is 2, so that's 3 plus the 2 extra is 5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 9 damage, which definitely gives an injury. You can spend. We have 2 momentum for you to spend, Tulla, if you'd like to do your first avoid the injury,
Don't
or if you
worry.
have anything. But you are
No.
definitely because you took more than 5 damage.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
guess
lot.
yes. I will avoid an injury if people
you
don't mind me
imagine
using
how
the momentum.
Not
Can
at
you
all. You're
imagine
the
how
one fighting.
voice
You're
might
passed out. Okay, so I'm marking off those 2. So we have 1 more momentum left, and you just got knocked down as well.
Okay.
You have
What was the total damage I took?
9.
9. Okay.
I'm trying my best here. I'm being a supporting character.
Yeah, you're doing great because I'm learning too.
Thank you for helping while unconscious.
Yeah.
Does Tamal,
Just shouting
what
the
does-
rules.
What does Tamal do?
Oh, I'm still screaming. Stop fighting. Everybody stop fighting. I'm filled with spores. Nobody's piloting the ship. Who's piloting the ship?
It's fine, and it's on space cruise control.
So, did you knocked
No.
Tula down?
How it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both knocked down. Yeah.
So you
Why are
can.
you? Can we talk? Are we allowed to talk between?
Oh yeah. Of course, you can always talk.
I guess you're. I look over across the floor at you because I guess we're both down. Why
Yeah.
are you here, if not to help us?
Thorn's gonna spit one of their teeth onto the ground.
I want to actually do an actual contested grope into your brain.
Okay, that's probably you. Probably get in there now.
Yeah. Let's see. That was insight command. I think we decided we're actually doing a
Insight
contested
command.
thing.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, I gotta beat 12.
You are
Gotta-
present.
Oh, I'm
Oh, wait,
present. I got it. Okay, I gotta beat
Yeah.
13. That's fine. Boop.
Oh, why is this happening? You're too
How
powerful.
did this happen to me?
You're too powerful.
Like a steel trap, baby.
So, Thorn, you are able to get back up now that you've totally avoided that.
Yeah. Thorn's gonna struggle to their feet because they're like I'm not gonna lie, they're not unconscious, but they still got rocked.
Yeah, and you notice that your timers are about to run out. Like you can see there's one near you, and you're just like, I gotta go.
Oh, this is a problem. Yeah, so he'll just, sorry, darling, and then make for the spaceship.
Yeah, you don't have to go very far, so you make it to your ship.
Is that that would be a sprint, right? Because we're in combat.
What?
There's a sprint action because we're in combat because Tola's right there. If Agent Thorne could sweep the leg while she was on the ground, they were on the ground, then Tola could also, right? Or do something of the kind. So I feel like there's a task.
Yeah, if you it says sprinting is a difficulty 0 fitness plus security task.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
Lord.
feel like it would make sense to increase the difficulty of the task because you have an enemy within close range of you.
So we could do difficulty of 2.
Yeah, I like grab for your ankle as you rush off.
Okay.
That makes sense to me at least. So that's fitness plus security.
Is this contested or not? I'm sorry.
It's not. It's just more difficult to get away because there's an enemy within like 5 feet of you, you know?
Okay. Do I need to roll for that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's my fitness plus security. Okay, my fitness is 12 and my security is 5.
So you have to make a 17. God damn.
Okay, and it's 2 of these?
2. Yeah, 2d20.
I didn't make this character, by the way, everyone. Just so everyone is
Good.
aware.
I'm glad
This
you got
wasn't
2 successes. So you're
You wrench
out
your
of
ankle from my grasp.
Yeah, and just kind of like, and starts back for the ship. But like, I'm not gonna lie, even though Tula can't really probe Thorne's mind, there's definitely like very little urgency in the swagger walk as they go back to the ship. Like it's very much a just walking back. Like I've won, I know I've won. Job well done.
Yeah.
Go me.
So good to see you go. I don't know. Our bombs are they like beeping? Like
Yes.
Sending-
So Thorne, you're back on your ship now. You've swaggered away.
Mhm.
Or ran, I guess. I don't know. So you get onto your ship. You easily disengage and escape with your sample that you needed. And Tula, you look down and the bombs are counting down, and they are at 2 seconds left.
Tula anticipates running after Thorne, but then turns back and sees Lidra's body there, and she just runs to grab Lidra and get out of the blast radius.
Yeah, you run and you do that, and then the bombs go off and kind of blow you both back against the wall, and the whole ship kind of shifts and starts falling towards the planet below it. And Thorne leaves and is gone, and that is where we will end because we are at time.
I liked you so much at the start, TK. I don't like you anymore.
You wouldn't have let me kidnap your small child if you didn't trust me, so
Trust me. Okay. So let's wrap up because I know Hadil has got to get going. So thank you all very much for playing. We'll be back next week without Thorne. So thank you, TK, for joining us as a wonderful guest. It was wonderful. If we want to go around real quick, we can start with TK, where to find you online and what you do and everything. Oh no, you're muted.
Oh, you muted yourself.
no, you were starting with me, and oh god, oh Jesus. It's me, it's TK. I write spooky stories on the internet. If you like them, go to my website, tkjwrites.com, or follow me on Twitter, TK joins the fray. All of my scheduling for games and stuff is going to be there. Tuesdays, I'm on Don't Split the Podcast. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm usually on WebDM. Fridays, I do articles for beginner DMs trying to immerse their people in a new world. You can find those on tabletoptest.com. Other than that, I don't do anything. That's my life. I'm done.
That's my whole life. Hadil.
Me, Hadil. You can find me online at Twitty, even though I haven't been using the internet because I've been really busy. Gotta remember what I do. Stuff. I do D&D stuff online. You'll find it. You'll all find it.
You'll find it. It's fine. Lisa.
I am Lisa Chen at Merciful DM on Twitter. I am the community manager for the Adventurers League as well as the Dungeon Masters Guild. I do a bunch of D&D things. Follow me, find out what they are.
Yay! And Blue Jay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Blue Jay. You can find me most days at twitch.tv/BlueJay. Fridays, you can find me on twitch.tv/D&D. And Wednesdays and Thursdays, you can find me right here. If you would like to see all of the roleplay content that I do, and it's a lot, it's all on bluejay.tv/portfolio. Everything backing up for like 2 whole years, almost 3 now, I guess. Lots of fun stuff to watch. So check it out.
Woo. And I'm Kaylin. You can find me on the internet at the name that's below my face, and I do art and things. And that's it.
Hooray!
And buy our book.
Hooray.
Buy our book.
Buy our book. We made a book. Our friend
Sorry,
Holly,
I didn't mean that to be that loud.
Our friend Holly Conrad has a character Strix on Dice Camera Action, and we did a little comic about Strix, and you can buy it, and there's links on my Twitter if you would like to buy it. Yay!
The comic is awesome,
Okay,
but TK, we are breaking up now.
What the fuck? All right, well,
What the
thank
heck,
you very
TK?
much. We'll see you next week at the same time.